Okay, good morning. You do have a warm-up showing a Bohr model of nitrogen. If you need your science journal, go ahead and get it out. You will probably need a periodic table. So have your science journal on your desk. Once you have your warm-up done, you also need to get out the foldable from Friday, and we're going to go over Bohr model foldable. Make sure you have the correct answers on that. And then we have a little lab to do. At your desk, there are some models of atoms. Please don't pick them up or touch them at this point. Just leave them lay there. In a moment, when we start your lab, you will move from section to section, looking at those models and deciphering some information. Is there any questions about what you're doing this morning? Okay, get your warm-up done while I take attendance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state under God, one community.
Excuse me.
Good morning, Mr. Cooper.
A moment of silence. Raphael? Destiny? Angela? Okay, I'm going to be walking around to see if you're drawing your model correctly. If you didn't do your homework, the worksheet from Friday, you need to have that on your desk checking it also. Okay. Okay. What aren't you supposed to do in the center? You're supposed to do this. Where's the folder from? Right there. Where is it? Where are we going to try to do this? Okay. Glue it down and okay, so you didn't do it correctly, Jay, so yeah, you don't have to draw this. So find the foldable from Friday. It's not glued down yet. Like this one. Okay, we're doing nitrogen. Where's your foldable from Friday? This here. Says you how to do it. You're not supposed to be drawing circles in there. Okay, that is correct. That is correct. You're not supposed to be drawing circles. There's your foldable from Friday. Please get it out. That's not it. Excuse me? It looks like this. Fine. It's your responsibility to know. Not say, I don't know. Your supposed to finish the homework. Obviously, you didn't do that, did you, Bill?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Put it with my wall, I'll come back to it.
Then get it out and check and do it correctly. Okay, this is wrong. Where's your foldable from Friday and where's your science journal? You'll have to get the notes from somebody else. Okay, do it in the center from now on. Okay, let's see how to do this. Most of you, after being reminded, did do it correctly. Remember, from now on, when you're asked to draw a Bohr model, you do not have to draw all of the little circles, because if you do, you may not have room, because I may ask you to draw one of xenon that has 54 protons and 60 neutrons. Can you draw all those little circles? No, there is no reason to draw those circles anymore. This is the way this should have been drawn. We did nitrogen. It should have said P plus equals 7, N0 equals 7. And then you should have drawn electrons. How many electrons should I draw here?
2.
How many altogether? 7. How many can go in the first shell? 2. There's 1. There's 2. So we need how many in the second shell?
3. Yeah, 5.
We need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For a total of 7. And this is the way your model should look. If you didn't do that on your warm-up, make corrections now. Perfect. You can push it away. And then get your foldable out from Friday. We are going to go over the answers to that. Hopefully, most of you have done it. It was not for a grade this time, but we do have some graded work coming up. While you're putting that away, if you look up here for a second, interpreting atomic models is a lab we're having today. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about isotopes and ions, and you'll learn what those are. Wednesday, you'll have a little evaluation with critical writing. There are 2 questions you'll have to answer with a complete sentence. On Thursday, you'll have your vocabulary quiz, and then we will go over your Unit 2 review. And then on Friday is your Unit 2 exam. So that's what our week will look like. Today you do have a homework. Tuesday you will have a homework. And Wednesday you will have a homework to do the review. And also study for a quiz. Okay? So let's go over the sheet from Friday. This is the way it should have looked. I'm going to go through each one of these, and you make sure that yours are correct. If you didn't do it, now's the time to write them down. So here was the first one, boron. Boron. Boron, the 8-man for boron was 555,954. It has 3 valence electrons. Therefore, the Lewis dot diagram should look like this. If you didn't do it, where's yours? Get a pencil. Lane, you're an 8th grader. I shouldn't have to tell you this every day. 8th grade. If you want to go to 9th, you better start doing your work. Otherwise, I'll keep you back for next year. And then here was the model. Again, 5 electrons, 2 in the first shell, 3 in the second. Next one. Oxygen. 8-man for oxygen, 8, 8, 8, 16, 8, and 8. The valence electrons are 6. Therefore, the Lewis dot diagram would look like this. To do the model, you need 2 shells. The first one can have 2 electrons, and the second, 6. The 6 electrons are the valence electrons, and that's the reason your Lewis dot diagram looks like this. Next one. If you need me to slow down, just raise your hand and I will slow down a little bit. Sodium. Sodium should look like this. 8 men is 11, 11, 11, 23, 11, 12. It has 1 valence electron. 3 shells. The first shell has 2, the second shell has 8, and the third shell has 1. Okay. Does valence electron, does anybody remember what that helps the atom do? What does that?
It's on the outer electron.
It is, but what does it help the atom do? Bond. It helps the atom bond. It's responsible for the element's reactivity, which we will talk about a little bit more today. Okay, the next one, silicon, should look like this. 14, 14, 14, 28, 14, 14, 4 valence electrons. That means the Lewis dot diagram should look like this. 2, 8, and 4. 2, 8, and 4. For a total of 14 electrons. Nitrogen is the one you just did on your warm-up. You had done it on your sheet over the weekend like I asked you to do. Your warm-up should have been easy, and here it was. 7, 7, 7, 14, 7, 7, 5 valence electrons. Remember, you can get the valence electrons from the A numbers at the top of the periodic table. 2 electrons in the inner shell. The outer shell has 5, therefore our Lewis dot diagram should look like this. Neon we did together, so I'm just going to skip past that one. And the last one was lithium. Lithium is in column 1A, therefore it has 1 valence electron. Its mass is 6.9, so we round it to 7. That gives us 4 neutrons, 1 valence electron, 2 in the outer shell, 1. Again, what is this valence electron? What does it allow the atom to do? Everybody? Bond. It's what allows the atom to have reactivity. Any questions about those? Does anybody need to see any of them again? Yes, ma'am.
Can I see you?
Boron? There they all are. You can see them all. You need to look at any of them again. Anybody else? You need to glue that down to the next blank page. Which is 15. Is it? 16. Okay, put it on 16, please. I have to update this then. Something's missing. It is 16. Put it on 16. This is slides from last year. I need to change it. Okay, today's lab, while you're gluing, just listen to me. Again, at each of the tables, and these are glued together carefully, and please don't bang them around, throw them, because they'll, excuse me. what? Just, excuse me, that means you stay quiet or something. Okay? Don't bang them around. Me and my son made these a long time ago, and I would like them to stay together. Just treat them with respect. These are models of atoms. In the atom, you're going to be choosing 12 of them. There's 14 around the room, and you and a partner can move around together and look at the models. You're going to be interpreting some information. For example, they might ask you, what is the atomic number? What is the mass? How many protons? How many neutrons? How many electrons? What is the valence electrons? How many shells does it have? Okay, so you'll be interpreting some information. What you need to keep in mind is that the little yellow beads represent the protons. The little green beads are the neutrons, and the red ones are the electrons. Okay. On the back, they are numbered, and they're Roman numeral. Hopefully you can read Roman numerals. This is VI, which would be what? 6, actually. Just use the Roman numerals. This is 13, XIII. Just write down the Roman numeral. If you're not sure which one comes first, ask, and I will show you. Okay. You will be you don't have to go to them in order. Put them in any order you come to them in. Just write the model number, which is the number on the bottom, and then it asks you for the number of protons. You're going to have to actually count them. Count the little green ones. The easiest thing to do is just count the electrons. And then you know it's going to be the same as the protons, right? Okay. And then you're going to need your periodic table at the end. Once you have all this information, you'll sit down at your table, and you will put the symbol for each of the elements. Does everybody understand what you're doing the rest of the class period?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. As soon as you have your sheet, you can get started.
Oh, I tried that test that you put in that pencil.
Okay. And I do have your new grades. I'll be posting in a moment. Just put IX. Use the Roman numerals, please. Yeah, no, it's not. How many valence? Valence are the ones we have. No, there's 2.
I'm kidding. Oh, no, you don't.